Hello, I'm so happy you're here. And I want to start with a simple idea. Learning English can truly change your life. Now, that may sound like a big promise, but let me explain why it's true. English is not just a school subject. It's not just a language. It's a key that opens many doors. Doors to new jobs, doors to travel, doors to friendships, and doors to new knowledge. When you speak English, you can connect with people from all over the world. You can learn from videos, books, podcasts, and courses. You can share your ideas with others, and you can understand theirs too. That is power. That is opportunity. That is freedom. Now, I know something about you. If you're here, listening, it means you want more. You want to grow. You want to improve. And you believe English can help. Guess what? You're absolutely right. English creates new opportunities. Let's talk about something that matters to almost everyone. Work, jobs, career, stability, growth. These things are important. They affect how we live, what we can provide for our families, and even how we see ourselves. And here's the truth. Learning English can give you more opportunities in the job market no matter where you live. For many people around the world, speaking English means a better job. It can mean a higher salary. It can mean more respect from colleagues, more options, more freedom. In today's global world, companies, even local companies, often need someone who can speak English. Why? Because they're dealing with international clients, suppliers, tourists, or partners. And when you can be that person, the one who communicates clearly in English, you become more valuable. Maybe you dream of working for an international company where meetings happen in English. Maybe you want to freelance online and find clients from the United States, Canada, or Europe. Or maybe you want to be a tour guide, help travelers in your city, work at a hotel, or answer customer service calls for a global business. These jobs often require English. And the good news? You don't need to be perfect. Really, perfection is not the goal. So many people stop themselves because they feel nervous. They think, I'm not fluent yet, or my grammar isn't perfect, or I still have an accent. But listen carefully. Even basic English, simple, clear communication can change everything. It's not about speaking fast. It's not about using big words. It's about connection. It's about understanding and being understood. That's what employers are looking for. Think of English like a bridge. Imagine a wide, strong bridge connecting your world to the rest of the world. Maybe today you're just standing at the beginning of that bridge, feeling unsure. But with every word you learn, with every sentence you practice, you take one step forward. And the more you cross that bridge, the more you use English in your daily life, the stronger and more confident you become. Now, let me ask you something personal. I want you to close your eyes for a second and imagine what could change in your life if you could speak English clearly and confidently. Would you finally apply for that job you've been thinking about for months? Would you send your resume to that international company you admire? Would you talk to that foreign client on your own, without needing a translator? Would you feel ready to travel to a new country and speak with people without fear? Would you be able to help your children with their English homework, or even guide them toward new opportunities? Maybe you just want to enjoy a movie in English without reading subtitles, or listen to a podcast and truly understand what they're saying. That, too, is a powerful goal. Because when you understand, you grow. And when you speak, you connect. And that, my friend, is where the magic begins. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until your English is good enough. Just start. Start today. Start small, but stay consistent. Every word you learn adds to your power. Every sentence you say adds to your courage. Every conversation you try adds to your experience. English can be your passport, not only to new places, but to a new version of yourself. A version that feels capable. A version that feels confident. A version that can say, yes, I can do that. Because you can. And the truth is, no one becomes fluent overnight. Everyone starts from zero. Everyone makes mistakes. That's how we learn, by doing, by trying, by failing, and trying again. So be patient with yourself. Be proud of every step you take. Even watching this video and listening right now is a step forward. English can open many doors, but you are the one who must walk through them. You are the one who must decide, this is my time. And if you do that, there's no limit to where this language can take you. How English gives you confidence. Let's talk about something personal. Let's talk about confidence. Because if you've ever tried to speak English in front of someone, if you've ever felt nervous or shy or afraid of making a mistake, then you already know learning a new language isn't just about memory. It's about courage. Confidence is not something we're born with. It's something we build, brick by brick, word by word, moment by moment. And English gives you the perfect opportunity to build that confidence every single day. Let me ask you, have you ever had that little voice in your head that says, don't speak, you'll sound stupid, they'll laugh, you're not good enough? That voice, we all have it, every single person. And that voice becomes louder when you're trying to speak a new language. But here's the truth. Every time you speak, even if you make a mistake, you are growing. You are pushing your limits. You are saying to the world, I believe in myself enough to try. That's confidence. Confidence is not something about speaking perfectly. It's about speaking anyway. It's about raising your hand even when you're not 100% sure. It's about ordering your coffee in English. It's about saying hello to a stranger, even if your accent is strong. It's about trying again and again and again. When you do this consistently, something magical happens. You begin to see yourself differently. You start to walk taller. You start to feel more capable. You look at yourself in the mirror and think, hey, I did that. I spoke English today. I learned something new. I was brave. And that feeling, it doesn't stay in the classroom. It doesn't stay in the language app. It goes with you into every part of your life. Suddenly, you speak up in meetings at work. You share your opinion more often. You make eye contact. You try new things. Because deep down, you've proven to yourself that you are capable of growth. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And English gives you daily opportunities to exercise that muscle. Every sentence you speak is a mini workout for your courage. And let's not forget, confidence is contagious. When you start believing in yourself, other people feel it. They trust you more. They listen more. They want to work with you, talk with you, be around you, because confident energy is attractive. Now let me tell you a little secret. Most confident people were not confident at first. They just practiced. They failed, they learned, and they kept going. You can do that too. You are already doing it.
Every time you press play on an English video, every time you write a comment in English online, every time you speak to yourself in the mirror, saying, "Good morning, how are you today?" That is confidence being built. And even when it feels small, it's not. Those little moments add up. Over time, you're not just learning a language, you're becoming someone who believes in their ability to change, someone who doesn't give up, someone who dares to speak, to learn, to grow. So the next time you feel nervous, remember this: fear is normal, but courage is choosing to try anyway. And the more you try, the more confident you become, not only in English, but in life. That is one of the greatest gifts this language can give you.
English connects you to people. Let's take a moment and really think about what it means to connect with other people. At the heart of everything we do as humans, our jobs, our relationships, our communities, there is communication, there is connection, and language is how we build that bridge between us and the world. Now imagine this. You walk into a room full of people from different countries. Everyone is talking, laughing, sharing stories, and suddenly you realize you understand them. You can join the conversation. You can ask a question. You can tell a story. You're not sitting in silence anymore. You're participating. You're part of something bigger. That's the power of English. It's not just about speaking a few words. It's about feeling included. It's about being able to say, "Hey, I'm here too. I have something to say." Because for many people, before they learn English, the world feels closed. Opportunities feel far away. The internet feels like a different planet. But when you understand English, it's like a curtain is lifted. Suddenly, things make sense. You feel connected. You belong. And connection doesn't always mean big conversations. Sometimes it's something small, like being able to smile and say thank you to a tourist in your city, or helping someone find their way, or reading a message on Instagram from someone in another country. These are real everyday moments, and they matter. They remind us that we're not so different after all. Think about the internet. So much of it is in English. Videos, articles, courses, communities, games, books. When you learn English, you gain access to that entire world. You can follow creators you love. You can comment and share your ideas. You can learn from people who live on the other side of the world, and they can learn from you. Isn't that amazing? Some people say that English is the language of business. And yes, that's true. But it's also the language of friendship, the language of connection, the language of dreams. It's the language many people use when they fall in love, when they travel, when they tell their stories online. Learning English means you're able to be part of those stories too. And here's something beautiful to remember. When you speak English with someone, you're not just speaking with words. You're building trust. You're opening your heart. You're showing that you care enough to learn their language, to make the effort to understand. That's powerful. That's human. And that kind of connection lasts. Maybe one day you'll help a stranger in an airport. Maybe you'll explain something to a tourist in your city. Maybe you'll talk to someone in a cafe while traveling. Or maybe you'll be the reason someone else starts learning English just because they met you. You see, connection is not about being perfect. It's about being brave. It's about showing up. It's about saying, "I'm learning. I'm trying. Let's talk."
Even simple phrases can make a difference. Where are you from? What's your name? Nice to meet you. What do you do? What do you like? I like that too. These words connect lives. So don't wait until your English is perfect to connect with others. Start now. Speak slowly. Speak simply, but speak. Because someone out there is waiting to meet you. And maybe, just maybe, learning English is the first step toward finding them. If you're still here, it shows you truly care about learning and improving your English through listening. So please take a moment to subscribe, like, comment, and share. It shows you value our work, and it gives us the motivation to keep creating more for you.
English helps you learn anything. Let me ask you something simple but important. What do you want to learn? Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to understand how to invest your money. Maybe you want to study psychology or design or photography. Maybe you want to cook new recipes, fix your car, or build something with your hands. Whatever it is, whatever you dream of learning, there's a very good chance the information is already out there. And most of it, it's in English. That's the world we live in today. English is not just a language people speak. It's the main language of the internet, of global education, of science, technology, innovation. It's the language used in tutorials, articles, podcasts, online courses, and YouTube videos. It's the key to unlocking the world's knowledge. And that's why learning English isn't just about traveling or passing a test. It's about giving yourself power. The power to learn, to grow, to explore anything you're curious about. You don't have to wait for a translated version. You don't have to hope someone teaches it in your language. When you understand English, the world becomes your teacher. Let's take a simple example. You want to learn how to build a website. You search online and you'll find thousands of videos in English, step-by-step guides, free courses, forums full of people helping each other. Suddenly, what felt impossible now feels possible because you have the language to access it. And here's something even more exciting. Once you know English, you never stop learning. Every time you read a blog or listen to a podcast or watch a video in English, you're not only learning the content, you're also improving your English. It's a double benefit. You're learning two things at once. Now think about how powerful that is. You want to improve your health? You can find English videos from doctors and fitness coaches all over the world. You want to start a YouTube channel? Learn from creators who share their secrets and strategies, all in English. You want to become a better parent, a better partner, a better version of yourself. The advice, the tools, the knowledge, it's all out there, waiting for you. And every time you choose to watch something in English, read in English, or listen in English, you're saying something important. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm taking control of my growth. That mindset changes everything. It takes you from being passive to being active, from being stuck to being free. Sometimes people ask, why should I keep learning English? What's the point? And my answer is this, because English gives you access to the tools of the future. It connects you to ideas, to experts, to mentors, even if you've never met them. It puts you in the same room with the best minds in the world just by clicking play. That's not magic. That's what you earn by learning this language. So, the next time you're practicing English, remember you're not just studying a language. You're preparing yourself to learn anything. You're training your brain to be more open, more curious, more powerful. English gives you wings. Use them to fly wherever your mind wants to go.
English makes you more independent. Let's talk about freedom. Let's talk about what it means to truly feel independent. Now, independence doesn't mean doing everything alone. It doesn't mean you never ask for help. It means you have the ability to move through the world with more confidence. It means you can make decisions, solve problems, and take action without always needing someone to translate, to explain, or to guide you. That's what English gives you. Think about all the small moments in life when language matters. You're traveling, and you need to read airport signs. You're shopping online, and the instructions are in English. You're filling out a form, downloading an app, changing settings on your phone. You want to read the reviews of a hotel, or understand a product description, or book a ticket. In each of these moments, knowing English helps you act fast. It saves time. It reduces stress. You don't need to wait for help. You can figure things out on your own. That's real independence. And that independence doesn't just give you freedom, it gives you pride. Because every time you read something in English and understand it, every time you answer an email, join a video call, or fill out a form without help, you prove to yourself, I can do this. I'm capable. I'm growing. And that feeling, it's not small. It's powerful. It changes how you see yourself. It changes how other people see you. Maybe before, you used to rely on someone else to read instructions for you. Maybe you asked a friend to make that international call. Maybe you skipped opportunities because the website or the job required English. But now, things are different. You're becoming more independent every day. And that independence opens up the world. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you're watching a YouTube tutorial in English. At first, you need subtitles. You pause a lot. You rewind. You feel slow. But after some time, you notice something incredible. You're following without reading subtitles. You're listening and understanding. You're doing things on your own. That's the shift. That's independence growing inside you. You begin to trust your brain more. You take more risks. You stop saying, I can't, and you start saying, I'll try. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You take the next step because you're learning to move through the world with your own 2 feet. And here's the truth. Independent people are not people who know everything. They are people who believe they can learn. They are people who try, who search, who ask questions, who keep going. That's who you are becoming. Someone who doesn't freeze when they see English. Someone who stays calm. Someone who says, I may not understand it all, but I understand enough. I can figure it out. And when you start feeling that way, not only about English, but about life, that's when real transformation begins. So don't measure your success only by how many words you know. Measure it by how much stronger you feel. How many things you can now do by yourself. How many doors you can now open without asking someone else to turn the key. That's what English can do for you. It teaches you the language, and it teaches you to believe in your ability to figure things out. And that, my friend, is a kind of freedom no one can take away from you. If you're still here, it shows you truly care about learning and improving your English through listening. So please take a moment to subscribe, like, comment, and share. It shows you value our work, and it gives us the motivation to keep creating more for you. You do not need to be perfect to make progress. Say it again with me, in your mind or even out loud.
I do not need to be perfect to move forward. Because the truth is, perfection is a trap. It's something that holds so many people back. It makes you feel like you're not ready, like you need to study more, wait more, fix everything before you try. But guess what? You're already ready. Nobody learns a language perfectly from the beginning. Nobody speaks without mistakes, especially in the early stages. And that's not a problem. That's how learning works. That's how life works. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall, they stumble, they bump into things, but they keep trying. They keep moving. And one day, without even noticing, they're walking. It's the same with English. You say a word wrong? No problem. You forget a phrase? No problem. You mix up the grammar? No problem. What matters is you spoke, you tried, you moved. And that's progress. I want you to let go of the idea that your English has to be perfect to be valuable. It doesn't. It just has to be real. It just has to be used. If you wait for perfection, you'll wait forever. If you wait until you feel 100% ready, you'll never start. But if you accept that mistakes are part of the process, if you allow yourself to learn as you go, then magic starts to happen. You begin to speak more. You feel less afraid. You laugh at your errors and move forward. You grow faster because you're not frozen by fear. And here's something amazing. When you speak English and make a mistake, most people don't laugh at you. In fact, they admire you. They see your effort. They see your courage. They respect it. Because it takes strength to speak in a new language. And most people understand that. Fluent speakers make mistakes too. Native speakers make grammar errors all the time. So why should you expect yourself to be perfect? Instead, I want you to focus on something else. Clarity and connection. Can the person understand you? That's what matters. Can you share your idea? Can you ask your question? Can you understand the answer? That is success. Progress is not measured in perfection. It's measured in bravery, in practice, in consistency. And the more you speak, the better you get. That's a law of language. The more you use it, the more natural it becomes. The more natural it becomes, the more confident you feel. The more confident you feel, the more progress you make. So here's my advice. Speak, write, read, listen. Even when you're tired, even when you feel slow, even when it's not perfect, because every single time you do, you are getting better. Every single time, you are building something inside you. Don't aim for perfect English. Aim for honest English, fearless English, growing English. Your journey is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about building momentum. It's about moving forward. So let the perfection go. It's not helping you. Start where you are. Use what you know. Add one new word at a time. You are doing just fine. And I promise you, if you keep going, one day you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. Not because you were perfect, but because you never stopped.
Learning English changes how you see yourself. Sometimes we start learning something new because we want to change something outside of us. Maybe we want a better job. Maybe we want to travel. Maybe we want to connect with new people. And those are all wonderful reasons. But something else happens on the way. Something more personal. Something deeper. You start to change the way you see yourself. Learning English is not just about communication. It's not just about vocabulary or pronunciation or grammar. It's about who you're becoming in the process. It's about what you're proving to yourself every time you show up to practice, every time you listen to an English podcast instead of music, every time you speak even when you feel nervous. You're telling yourself, I'm someone who keeps going. I'm someone who grows. I'm someone who doesn't give up. That changes your identity. And when your identity changes, your whole life can change. Let's be honest, learning a new language isn't always easy. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes courage. And when you do something difficult and you stick with it, you start to build a new relationship with yourself. You begin to respect yourself more. You begin to trust yourself more. You begin to say things like, if I can do this, maybe I can do other things too. And that idea, that little spark, opens up your mind. Because English is not just teaching you how to speak, it's teaching you how to believe. You begin to realize that you are more than your fears, more than your mistakes, more than your doubts. You are someone with power, with intelligence, with possibility. You start seeing yourself as a global citizen, someone who can talk to people from any culture, someone who can share ideas with the world, someone who belongs not just in your country or your community, but in the whole world. And with that new identity, you walk differently, you speak differently, you think differently. You stop saying things like, I can't, or I'm not smart enough, because deep inside, you already proved otherwise. You faced your fear of English. You moved through it. You're still here. You're still learning. And that tells me something very important about you. You are not the same person you were when you started. So take a moment and really look at your journey. Think about when you started. Maybe you didn't know any words. Maybe you were afraid to speak. But look at you now, understanding, speaking, listening, improving. You've already grown. And that growth didn't come from luck. It came from you, from your effort, your decision, your persistence, your belief, even when it was small. And that's the beauty of this journey. English is not just helping you communicate with others, it's helping you reconnect with yourself, with your dreams, with your courage, with your voice. Because when you learn a new language, you don't just find new words, you find a new version of yourself, more confident, more open, more curious, more alive. So keep learning, not just to speak English, but to discover who you really are when you stop doubting yourself, when you step out of fear and into growth, when you stop hiding and start expressing. Because that person, the one who dares to grow, that person is already inside you, and every English word you learn is a step closer to becoming them.
Your journey is just beginning. So, my friend, here we are. We've talked about how English can open doors to jobs, to travel, to education. We've talked about how it can connect you to people, to stories, to cultures you've never known before. We've talked about how it can help you see yourself in a new light, stronger, braver, more capable than you ever imagined. But let me remind you of something very important. This is just the beginning. Learning English isn't a destination. It's a journey. And on this journey, there will always be new words, new challenges, new steps to take. But that's a beautiful thing, because learning is life. And the fact that you're still learning, still growing, means you are fully alive. Every day you listen to English, every time you try to speak, even if you make mistakes, every moment you choose to understand instead of giving up, that is progress. That is courage. That is success. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Because consistency is more powerful than talent. Effort is more powerful than fear. And your daily decision to keep learning, that's what will shape your future. There are people out there right now waiting to hear your voice. People who will smile because of what you say. People who will be inspired because you dared to speak, dared to connect, dared to grow. And it all begins with this choice: to keep learning English, to keep showing up, to keep believing that you are capable of more than you think. So take a deep breath and smile. You are doing something amazing. You are building a new version of yourself. You're not just studying a language. You're building a new life. And one day, you'll look back and say, that was the moment everything started to change. So keep going. Keep listening. Keep speaking. Keep dreaming in English and in life, because your journey is just beginning, and I can't wait to see where it takes you.